Hello and welcome back to round one back nine action from the 2023 Music City Open presented by Lone Star Disc. Stop number 4 on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We've got BigBarri commentary, Paul Ulibarri, Jeremy Koling, and we've got a very difficult course right here, Paul. What's been going on?
Yeah, it's playing gooey. Pretty gooey out there. It's just soft conditions, windy. You can tell the players are definitely uncomfortable with the conditions, and it's showing on the cards. I mean, Chris has a pretty clean round there, bogey free. You're not going to see that a lot out here, especially in these conditions. You see a little red on everybody else's, but it's just like it's playing tough to get that under par like we're used to, which I like. I like when we see that. It means that the leaderboard's going to be really tight, which you can see it is. And
that's just the way it goes these days. We've got Waco, stop number 2, was the tightest event in Disc Golf Pro Tour history. That record was broken the next weekend at the Open at Austin, and we are showing another potential record breaker today if things stay the way they are, because there's no one really breaking out on that big hot streak yet. This is a new design of this course. A lot of these holes are similar to years past, but for a lot of players, this is a brand new course. We are on hole 10. A nice 354-foot straight shot that Chris just dissects with a nice little turnover. That being said, he's still 33 feet away.
Yep.
From what I understand, they pushed this tee pad back, made this hole a little bit tougher. Calvin, a slip, and oh my goodness, it looks like someone in the tree grabbed his disc and threw a flick roller into the woods. That was a very bad reaction.
Yeah, if you go watch a tournament, don't do that. Don't touch other people's discs.
Yeah, don't climb trees. Nikko also at that 34-foot, 35-foot range. That will be an uphill putt with this tall basket.
Flip. Hey, you got through that gap.
Yeah,
I don't know what's over there. I don't know how hard that's going to be. I think it's going to be fairly easy to get up and down.
Okay, Calvin just straight up in the creek. Like, who cares? Just, what is this guy? There's casual relief. What is the benefit here?
Well, I was in there.
Okay.
I'll tell you, the casual relief that gets you behind there, it leaves you absolutely nothing.
Wow.
So I had as well, I had to get in there. And that also has those crazy thorns that are like, I mean, I don't even know how to explain them. They're nasty. It's terrifying.
Matteo just having to play the flick approach. Nikko does.
Buddy. Very good. But it's like, what did this land do in another life to earn those things? Like, geez. Famine or something? Calm down.
It's just Mother Nature, man.
Here you go. Yeah, I guess this bucket's accepting the putts today. Those are 2 really good ones, really good step putts right there.
Yeah, solid
for birdie.
birdies. Yep.
Is this a save?
This would be a good save. Calvin scrambling from the little creek there. I wonder if the slickness of the upcoming drives, if that's going to be an issue. He's already playing in shoes that he slips and slides around in quite a bit. So he is accustomed to this slide, but yep. Let's see how that affects him coming up.
That's middle. That's a middle putt from Chris. That's awesome. Even 4 under.
Yeah.
They're getting whipped right now by Chris.
I mean, it's the Music City Open. What else do you expect? A lot of expectations on Chris's shoulders, obviously. He just feels so comfortable in his home state and on any disc golf course in the world. Hole 11 is a par 3, 270 feet. This is the easiest hole in the course. This is a must get considering we have just seen a bunch of doozies. Uphill, there's rock shelves that you just kind of clear the first couple and then you're home free. This is turning over towards those trees, kicks back, very rude. Still makeable uphill putt though.
Hurry. Nope.
Nikko asking for a little luck. I don't think he's going to like it.
You like this hole?
I think it's fine to have holes like this every once in a while on the tour. Just you step up and you got to get it. And right now we're seeing a bunch of players on this card not interested in getting it.
Yeah, but I mean,
in general, I think throwing in a hole like this that has that deuce or die mentality every once in a while, I think is fine.
Yeah, I think it plays harder than it looks.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a gap you got to get through. So at least he has a look at it.
And Chris does slide that in on the right side.
Back-to-back jumpers.
And the Music City Open Miracle Man is off to races now 5 under. And look at that thing just barely hanging on.
His shirt has little music guys on there.
Yeah, that's
Nikko
nice
figures out a way. Wow.
Back-to-back steppers for Nikko now, and that brings him under par.
Guy's a grinder.
Yeah, after that bogey start, he is.
Are these guys going to figure out how to do it?
What is happening right now?
How to get the par? How to get the star frame?
They got the memo on their deuce or die, and I think they're all interested in living. Let's see if Matteo can complete the star frame. Awkward stance. Nails it. Okay. 4 subpar drives and 4 subpar results.
I like that.
Thank you. Through 11, we have now 4 players under par.
It's a great name for a company.
Subpar clothing. That is pretty good. Someone's going to get on that one.
Yeah.
Hole 12, par 4, 618 feet up the hill through the tight gap, tree right in the middle, and you got to get left. If you don't get left, access to this second shot is quite difficult. You have to just barely get around this corner if you want to have a close putt, but it is a very tricky little hole. Unless you're able to do that comfortably off the tee. That's going to set up about 310 feet.
Yeah, the gap's just small enough to make you super nervous. It's a tight one.
It is. Yeah, I find it quite uncomfortable, but that's not my top skill set. And these guys probably see this gap and think feast. Calvin, unfortunately.
If he has a run up, he can probably still get there. It's amazing. Think about. There it is. Give him the skip.
Nice slide.
Money. Farther left you are, the better. No.
Calvin's just going to need to focus on keeping this thing left.
He does a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, forcing the issue there with the angle. Those circle 2 flags that you see are for the FPO pin, so he still has a little bit of ways to go to save his par. But a good shot there.
Chris gets it wide enough. I don't think this can swing in time for the circle.
Yeah. And you can just see how tight that is tucked around the corner. You really have to almost think that you've missed your shot to put it under the basket.
And that as well should be circle's edge or right outside.
Yep. Putting downhill, a very fast putt from there, and it's pretty dangerous behind the pin. If you do miss everything, you could find yourself in a tricky position trying to save the par.
This is better, I think.
Much better.
Yep.
Well done for Nikko. Gonna have a short birdie putt. Calvin still has a blind approach, though. He's got to just get us barely around the corner. And that's fine, but flirting with danger. And once again, Chris just barely off the mark, but he's putting for birdie again. You know, he's just constantly putting himself in position. A lot of players are finding themselves in scramble opportunities. Chris has just been pretty comfortable.
A little low for Maddie as well. That's a good save.
Just in on the left side for Calvin, but like you said, that's a save he's going to be happy with, hitting that first tree.
Push or spin?
What did he do last time?
He spun it.
All right, then I'm going to go spin. And he is in. 3 birdies in a row now for Nikko. 2 under. You mentioned on the front 9, anything under par out here feels good. All right, if you want to be in contention, you can see the leaders are still at 7 under.
I mean, if you can come off the course, you felt like you didn't play good, shoot 1 under, and you're only 6 back.
Yes.
That's fine.
It's fine.
It's absolutely fine. Okay, hole 4, 616, or hole 13, par 4, yes. 616 feet up the hill we go, through the gap. A lot of these guys can go over the top, but I don't know if they're going to do it with this wind. It's a better wind than in practice, so they probably are going to do it. This green's super tight. You get behind this pine tree. I think it's a pine tree on the right. I'm not. What do you call them? What do you call those guys who know trees?
I think it's a cedar. I'm not quite sure.
No, what are the guys called with the no trees?
Oh, dendrologists. Just kidding. I'm making something.
Whatever they are, that's not what I am. I promise you that. They are going over, and that's just fine. It's far to go over.
Yeah, that's a huge shot. Nicely done for Nikko, just clearing the treetops, hyzering back to the middle.
I don't know if it was possible when I teed off. We were laying up short. He gets through.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's just fine. Anything past that gap is just terrific. If you're out in the green grass field, you're loving life.
He's going to have no problem then.
The right word is arborist.
Ah, dang, I was going to say arborvitae, but that's a tree. Son of a gun.
That is a tree. It's an upright arborvitae. That becomes a tree that we face at the DDO.
Yep. That's great. All really good shots. So here's what you... Pretty standard. Missed the tree on the right, which looks like a pine tree to me. And there you go. You don't.
Yeah, that's going to be a tricky one to get his 4th consecutive, but a little straddle out. Maybe Nikko can make some things happen here. And a big skip, actually. Probably a little unfortunate to hit that tree. I think he would have been inside the circle left side, but either way, he's got to look for the birdie. That's looking pretty good.
If you want to be good at disc golf, let me suggest something. Learn how to throw a stable putter on anhyzer.
Nose up.
Nose up. That way you can throw a shot like he just did. Makes the gap big, land softly. Mm-hmm. If you can't throw that, I'm sorry, you're not going to have any chance at beating these guys.
Or just at beating your friends. Your friends are going to beat you and they're going to laugh at you and you're going to feel humiliated every time.
Yeah, they're going to flex bosses in your face, make putts with mid-ranges, and beat you.
Chris, oh no, that looked beautiful. Just barely too high. I'm sure out of the hand that was a sure thing for Chris, but just not able to go in. And Matteo going long on his approach, you can see how that can bite you.
It's definitely closer to Nikko.
And Nikko off the cage. That one baffling him a bit.
Here's a tiny anhyzer. Guess what? He's beating his friends.
That's right. A nice birdie for Calvin. Well played hole. And it's just slow. It's just 2 under through 13 holes for Calvin.
He might end up 9 under somehow.
Yeah, it's just kind of how he's been playing this year. A lot of hot stretches. This doesn't look like he's doing much, and yet his rounds are killer. This time it's just kind of hanging on. And I think that's a lot to be said about hanging on a course like this, where it's just kind of been punishing so many players throughout the course, throughout the day. Still everyone on our feature group, round 1 remaining under par, and still the hot round in the clubhouse is at 7 under. Luke had that round in early, and I'm sure he thought people would be out there beating his score, but he is still hanging on tight. Him and Ezra, only 2 players at 7 under right now as we move on to hole 14, par 3, 375, but I think that's mismeasured. I lasered this one to 345, and it is slightly downhill, but it's a flex forehand. I don't think we're going to see anyone go down the middle. There's just way more space on this left side.
You got it. They're just out of bounds straight on the right side. There is too tight for you to think you're good enough to go down that middle.
Just too early for Calvin. You got to swing this thing out there left and just trust the overstability of the disc to fight back at the end.
I get what the course designer's doing. He's forcing you to go left. If you he pulls that. If you want to go down the middle, you're going to have to throw it so good, is what he's saying. Like, you have to throw it so good without going out of bounds.
Wow, Nikko actually gets into C2 with that effort. I thought that he would have hit those early branches and knocked straight down, but he manages to get all the way up there for a putt.
Oh, slip. Not stable enough.
And actually hitting that outside edge pretty hard is a good thing.
What do you think about that? Even having that route right down the middle with the LB. Too punishing?
Yeah, I think but there's barbed wire there. So, I mean, you either don't design the hole at all or you have out of bounds. I mean, you just can't have barbed wire be in play.
Ooh, okay, that's a look. Muddy.
Yeah, good shot for Matteo.
Big gooey. Here we go. Annie. Ooh, that's
not the best effort.
Stretching it out. Ow.
And bogey free will continue for Chris. Nikko, an opportunity from range to get to 3 under. Good height, just hyzered right at the last second.
Kind of scary because there is OB right behind it with his bid that he had there. Matty can't get nothing to stick right now.
Started to walk it in and just couldn't hang it on.
Saving. Yes. Like those thorns, though, that are in the woods, they're terrifying. Like, you could walk in there, oh, where's my disc? Doink right in the eyeball, you're blind for life.
With all the barbed wire you have on the course and all these dreaded trees that you keep talking about, this is a Shrike's playpen. This place is just filled with spiky things.
Yes, so terrifying.
They're going to be impaled.
There's also cactus you get relief from on one of the holes.
Cactus.
Cacti.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's
cacti.
Yes, there is. You don't see too much cactus here in Tennessee, but it doesn't really feel like we're in Tennessee with all these spiky thorns. It feels like we're just in the coldest version of Texas. Through 14 holes, Chris Dickerson hanging on here at 5 under. He's never been in trouble the whole round, and that is saying something on this difficult course in these windy, cold, dewy conditions. Hole 15. This is the second hardest hole in the course. And I would imagine throughout the week, this will make its way up to the hardest hole.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Out of bounds left, out of bounds right. Thick woods as well to boot. Tough right to left wind. Hyzer play off the bat out over the OB. That's where you're going to take your big numbers from, or you can go down the middle. These guys are going to go wide hyzer, though, I think. Maybe a couple go down the middle, but this looks really good.
I like the wide hyzer with angle because when it spikes into that second landing zone, it really opens up the hyzer for that second shot. But it is scary going hyzer because if you don't get it back in bounds, you're basically 40 feet off the tee throwing your third.
Yeah.
And it could be a really scary hole from there.
Oh, no.
Now, did it
Did
cross?
it come in?
I don't know if it did or not, and that's the danger.
Oh, what? Oh, no. Catch a good break or something?
Oh, it gets through everything, and it's actually in that money landing zone. I don't understand how it got there, but Chris...
that's magic.
Chris needs to look up towards the skies and say thank you, because that was incredibly fortunate.
Yeah, that's hitting the jackpot on hole 15, 777.
Matty-O also
Really
getting
good.
around the corner. If that catches that early inside line, he is dead to rights. But, okay, so Nikko, they're saying he did get inbounds momentarily, which is a huge 350-foot bonus. And now he's going big on that second shot. This can be super dangerous.
Oh, he's fine. Putt. He's got a putt for par.
Yeah, a long one. And, you know, you said out of bounds left, out of bounds right. There's certainly out of bounds right. The only thing that's really out of bounds is that left side is so thick that it nearly plays as out of bounds. But
On the other side of that little bush line, there's out of bounds.
But, I mean, that's like not really in play, is it?
Well, some people have found it.
Okay. Okay. I will say no more.
Yeah. I mean, it's there. It's over there. Matty-O.
This is
Can he get that elusive
too short.
bird? No. Kind of a lot of birdies to be had on this course, and this one's playing. Okay, so this is what I was thinking.
Yes.
People going hyzer.
I think the best chance of birdieing this hole
It
is
spiked.
get to that second landing zone. It opens up the big, high, wide hyzer. Chris is coming up short there. Nice floaty bid for Calvin. That'll be a short putt for the par. Matty-O here is his third, just throwing a little nose up spinny, and he'll walk away with a comfortable score here on 15. Not a lot of birdies to be had, but he's found 4 of them scattered throughout this round, and Chris just off the left side cage.
Like perfect. That looked perfect to me.
This round could be so different for Chris. If he was dropping all these putts, he'd already be 10 under.
Yeah. Oh, don't do that.
That will be
You go swinging that arm around in there, dude, with those thorns. Career ender.
hand stuck to the tree. They're going to have to surgically remove it.
Yep, that's true.
He will have to drop a shot, though, here on the 15th hole.
Not a bad bogey for almost just never coming in.
I mean, and bogey would have been absolute. It would have been a great score if he hadn't crossed back in bounds on that tee shot and just stayed out of bounds the whole way. You're looking at double bogey almost guaranteed.
Yeah. Played with a couple people who did that exact thing. And
oh, there are some Doblinas out there. There are some triples, some doubles. There are all sorts of big, scary scores.
And some birds. There's crazy amount of birdies in this.
It's 19 players with a bird. Yeah, too much. Honestly, like a disconcerting amount of birdies on this hole.
I can't think of 19 players that could even birdie that. They're cheating out there.
Man, it's not reasonable. And a lot more sixes on that scoreboard now. You're seeing the tightness of this event really start to show as we step up on a very fun ace run. Hole 16, second easiest hole on the course. Just a downhill dart. I mean, you got the backstop there. Why not? Throw it in. If you do, I think you win like a guitar or
I think a Gibson guitar.
A Gibson guitar, not a motorcycle. Cool.
A motorcycle. You could ride a motorcycle with a guitar on the back. Look tough.
The hyzer, big spike hyzer coming up here for Calvin. Why
Ring
not?
it up.
Okay.
Well, that's really good though.
But this essentially plays as lawn darts for these guys. Wonder, yeah, it looks like Chris is indeed lining up the straight play.
If you got it, that's the shot today. Right at it.
Yeah, wind was favorable for it, and like you said, it's just a lawn dart. I mean, just go right at it. You got the backstop there. The straight play makes a lot of sense if you feel comfortable with it.
Did you go sidearm over the top?
I actually went. I didn't practice it, but I went AVR X3 straight at it.
With the sidey?
Just because nice. the conditions seemed right for it. It was a little bit of a left to right tailwind.
Oh no!
And Matt Orum is gonna miss the island. That is devastating.
Yeah, that seems like a shot that he wouldn't miss. He's having a tough back nine though. Nikko going. This is also easy. I mean, if you have the right disc.
Yep. Just a
pretty
little
easy
spike.
Shot.
And he's gonna have to work a little bit on the green to get the birdie. Mattio's gonna have to work a lot here. Downhill, super scary putt from this drop zone to save the par and remain under par. Oh yeah! All right.
What a putt.
He's been knocking on the door all day and finally gets one to fall in there. Great commitment. That is such a scary putt. And I think you can start to see how much slope there is on this green. And Nikko sails this one. Wow.
Now, does he switch? He's got to switch to the push from there. Yep.
That's a solid comeback putt after missing the easier downhill putt going uphill for the par, and he connects. Calvin in for the birdie. And Chris finally moves to 6 under. It looks like he's been knocking on the door to get that 6 under mark for a long time. Just
dinking on all those circle two putts.
Close, so many times. But finally, he does get to that number, and that puts him one shot off our leaders heading into the final 2 holes.
I just think the plastic is very premium.
I think it's the quality of plastic.
It's unlike any other plastic that you'll find in the industry.
It's something I can consistently trust.
You're gonna wanna put multiple discs in your bag.
You can only say so much where they have to eventually just try it themselves and see.
Hole 17, par 3, 355 feet. It's not an island hole, but it plays like one. You go out of bounds here, you can see it's kind of this whatever shape that is.
It's a bean.
It's a bean-shaped hole there, and if you go out of bounds, you take it from where you last were inbounds.
Yes.
So no island, but today it's playing tough, straight left to or right to left
Right
headwind.
to left headwind, yeah. And
it's just an awkward distance. It's like if it was 300, it's kind of an easy shot, but that 350,
yeah, sure.
your disc kind of get a little squirrely.
Oh,
but
Calvin.
it's easy for these guys right here.
That is a very well thrown forehand. There's the amount of exposure to the wind that you have on this hole with the basket being blind, and just like the feeling of how easy it is to throw it out of bounds makes this shot uncomfortable. It should be kind of a drop in the bucket, but it doesn't play that way. Chris, a lot of flex. How overstable is this? Quite. Yeah, okay. 25 feet away. You'll have that to get to 7 under. I like the height on this one. I like the width. And the result is pretty good inside the circle.
No.
I don't think. Oh, look at that help.
That's friendly. That is friendly.
Those walls are typically not that friendly. Nikko getting away with one
No, it's
there.
bizarre. It's like you hit those walls nowadays and they don't pop you back in. It's very rare.
Not typically. Nikko, fortunate. Can he take advantage of it? Knock down the putt. He can. A birdie for Nikko. Well done. I mean, not only, if that wall's not there, not only is he going to be out of bounds, he's actually going to be about 20 feet farther back.
Yeah.
The wall actually kicked him forward and closer to the pin. It hasn't been a horrible round for Matt. It just hasn't been what we typically see with him. That's what we're seeing is about average for the course. Oh, no, sit down. Wow. Chris has not dropped any of the short ones today. That's the first real. I would nearly classify that as an egregious putting mistake for him because he knocks those things down for a living.
Yeah, I mean, he's an inch off on the right side, down left to right slope. You hit it on the right side. I think it's leaning a little bit, it looks like. I mean, that's just, it is.
Yeah, slightly.
I mean, it's not that bad of a putt.
Yeah, sure. Egregious might be too dramatic of a word, but it's
we
certainly
just
a
get
putt
so
he's thinking.
used to these guys making everything, but it's a tough putting round.
doubt.
It's gooey out, and these guys are slipping everywhere. It's just tough, man. People miss putts. I'm sick of the narrative that putting's so easy and everybody makes it every single time, yet we watch the best players in the world. Calvin's missed a bunch of putts this round, and he's so good at putting.
Hole 18, par 4. We got a tailwind, and bombs away.
Putting's tough. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. We're going to move on to hole 18.
Okay.
723 feet. Just smack one up the hill. Stay right if you want to have a good angle for your approach. But I just got to go ahead and say this. Anthony Burrell on my card went ahead and took it personal and threw the dang thing 580 feet. I lasered it. It's 30 feet uphill where he landed. 580 up 30. I don't understand how someone even can do that.
How far did he have into the hole?
He had nothing. He had 46 feet to the hole. No, he had like just this shortest approach that I didn't even think it was possible to get that close.
That's hilarious. That guy had some arm speed.
Just sounded like a jet engine just flying out. Just
Nikko put a little extra on that one.
that is a good distance line for Nikko. Look at that. Past Calvin, and those are just in ideal landing zones.
Yeah, chip hyzers from there. Chip sidearm hyzers.
Chris has got a ton of power too. Doesn't get a lot of credit for it, but he knows how to manipulate the disc, and he can get him out there pretty far too. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, he's got just as far off the tee, just the angle is farther from the pin.
Yeah.
And this is a guy I've been really impressed with his distance lately. If he keeps this thing moving right, yeah, it's going to start hyzering, but
There's a gap over there. He doesn't.
could be a lean out forehand. I think he's going to have
I
something.
think that's bad.
Is it bad over there?
Looks pretty bad. This is pretty far. Probably 360. No, probably 330 it looked like.
And edge of the circle. Once again, Chris Dickerson just never put himself in any danger. All round. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, he had nothing. I don't believe that was intended to be a flick roller.
Really? I think it was. He just did a first down move
Oh, so okay.
and said, "That's all I got."
I think that was intended to be a flick roller.
Yep. Good guess. This thing staves. Oh, that's pulled.
Coming in really hot, really fast disc choice. I think
I mean,
he was
even
just
if
trying
he-
to throw
yeah.
like a low skipper.
Even if he misses that, he's going way past.
Yeah. And Nikko, he's going to just flex around that tree. And does it hyzer in time? Sure. That'll be to get Nikko to 3 under. Patio to save the par and finish under par for the round. That was just a scrappy day for Matteo.
Yeah. I mean, he was off for the races first few holes, and then he just kind of got into the rough a bit too much and
Kind of like the
miscues.
exact opposite day that Chris has had. You know, like where this has just been kind of a walk in the park, and you know, the opportunities have been there for him all day.
For solo lead.
Oh, right side. No, not solo lead. That would have been tie for the lead.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was
But if
looking
he makes
right,
those two
right
putts,
side, yeah.
if he makes the 2 putts on in 17, 18, he does have the solo lead, and that would have been with 4 or 5 other missed opportunities. So Chris just really off the tee, a solid day. Nikko finishing the round with his birdie.
Sneaky 3.
A sneako. A little sneako Locastro. Calvin with a slow day shoots 4 under, and he's only a couple off the pace.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how he is. He's just that talent where he doesn't have to do much for what we expect of him, at least, and then still right there in contention. I mean, 2 back of Chris's round, and they just had completely different days.
That's why they're on the featured card. Nobody over par. 4 under, 3 under, 1 under, 6 under. That's good shooting. There's a red on there, but Calvin just with the one mistake.
Yep.
A lot of missed putts, but one mistake there.
That's true. And there it is, folks. The leaderboard, 7 under. It stayed all day long for Luke Humphreys and Ezra Aderhold. But I believe I heard that this is, again, another record breaker. The most number of players within 1 shot of the lead after the first round of an Elite Series event. 13 players within 1 shot.
Jeez.
And then a whole bunch. 17 within 2 shots.
I mean, 20th is 4 back of the lead.
Yeah, it opens up a little bit. I thought we'd see more scores of the 4 under at the 5 under, but yeah, 6 and 7 seem to be popular. And you can just see a bunch of players just kind of having that pretty similar to like Matty O's type of round, Nikko's round, where it's just a lot of scrappiness out there.
Yeah, you got to scrap. You got to make your putts. You got to scramble really well. Put yourself in good positions. We saw Chris really stay away from the trouble, like you said. He was kind of in control the whole time. I don't remember him throwing it out of bounds one time. That's what you got to do.
Keep it in bounds?
Yeah, on this course, you can do that. You're going to find a couple birdies here and there, and that's a recipe for success. I mean, it's pretty gooey out there, though. Hey,
Round 1 is in the books here in Tennessee. Hands up, guys. Hands up. We have 2 more rounds to bring you here in Nashville, Tennessee for the 2023 Music City Open. For Paul Ulibarri, I'm Jeremy Koling. We're BigBarri, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Later.